Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to an all-new reaction and review. Tonight, guys, I'm taking a look at a rather interesting movie. It's a horror movie from 1979. The movie is called Weasels Rip My Flesh, and there's a bit of a story behind this. You see, this is the first film made by director Nathan Schiff, who apparently is one of the lesser-known gods of really low-budget B movies. This was his very first. He made it when he was 16, shot it with a Super 8 camera. The budget. I was really curious. I wanted to look up the budget before I started this. Excuse me. This movie was made with a budget of $400. Guys, the camera I'm filming this with cost more than the budget of this movie. That, to me, is rather interesting. I believe this now will officially be the lowest budgeted movie I've seen, officially beating my Bloody Wedding by leaps and bounds in terms of lowest budget I've ever covered. I don't know if this is going to be any good, because I'm not sure what the hell a person can do with only $400 when making a movie, but I'm about to find out. I am really curious. So, without further ado, it's time to kick back, relax, and check out Weasels Rip My Flesh. So guys, we've had this... Never mind, we had about a 2-minute tracking shot of just the woods with nothing happening. For some reason I was kind of reminded of Manos, The Hands of Fate. It's never a good sign when your movie's making you think of Manos, The Hands of Fate, but I'm gonna give this thing a chance. It might actually get better. Okay, I have to say, I really do like how this movie's using really cheap ketchup as their, blood. That seriously adds a nice little cheesy, touch to all of this. I actually kind of liking that. So apparently a garbage bag and some burning rocks and a really obviously cheap toy, rocket are supposed to look like some kind of an alien planet. I'm totally willing to buy it just because it looks so fucking lovably stupid. I'm really enjoying this, guys. I'm actually kind of surprised. So wait a minute. Wait. So your kid brother or your friend, whoever the fuck the other guy was bit in the ankle by something which you saw run into a hole. We didn't, because they, of course, weren't going to let the viewers see anything like that. You find this tube of random yellow slime, and you just pour it into the hole and walk away. Even though you're pouring the shit in there in order to, flush out whatever the hell was in there. Which apparently was a yellow plastic weasel, and now they're, oozing the yellow shit on it. Which, again, it looks really cheap. Oh, and also the weasel's burrow apparently is made out of black, paper, or, really cheap, garbage bags. I'm not kidding you guys. This movie is made on the ultra cheap, but I kind of like it. Is the weasel melting now? Okay, that's kind of nasty. It'd be a bit better, I think, if it were in focus, but I'm not going to complain. Okay, I totally understand that this is a stupid question to ask, but who the fuck smokes while shaving? I swear to God, we have, this guy. He's shaving, and he has a fucking cigar in his mouth. It's like he couldn't even take the time to, put it in an ashtray and then shave. I don't know. I guess it just seems a little off to me. Or perhaps maybe something which people in fucking, Long Island do all the time. I don't know. Frankly, I'm kind of curious. I really want to know who the fuck smokes while shaving. It just seems kind of stupid to me, I guess. That looks like a laboratory. No, it looks like somebody's finished fucking basement. But frankly, I honestly am not. I am not even going to question it. I am just going to roll, with this, because I'm kind of curious where this shit's going. Wow. I'm rendered totally speechless by whatever the fuck this monster is supposed to be. Whatever it is, it's oozing, and I can see the actor's face in the various holes it's got up front. I'm not sure if it's supposed to be a weasel. just crushed somebody's head against a wall. That was sort of nasty. Again, guys, this movie's got some really decent fucking effects when you consider the budget. But the fuck is that thing supposed to be, damn it? Well, guys, that was Weasels Rip My Flesh. And the credits here apparently were made in 2003. What do you know? Okay. So, wow, that ending made no fucking sense. Alright, I am not going to let that pull me down. I gotta talk about the movie. Before I even get into the actual review, I'm going to get down to this one simple question. A question that you almost always have to ask whenever you are reviewing a movie. Was the movie good? Fuck no. It is probably one of the stupidest things I've ever seen, ever committed to film. But it's such a lovable stupid. I cannot tell you guys to fucking avoid it. So a lot of this is gonna sound horrifically negative, but I don't want you to take it as me damning the film. It actually all kind of helps add to the film's charm. Okay, I just want to make that abundantly clear right now before I dive into the actual review. Okay, so writing. The story here makes no fucking sense, guys. Okay, so we have a psycho who kills two people at the very start. There's really no rhyme or reason to it. The psycho almost looked like he might have been the mad scientist from later on. Don't know why he was killing two women randomly in a house, but I'm not gonna question it. Or perhaps maybe it was a man and a woman. I don't know. It was just two victims. He killed them, and their blood was like the fucking color of really cheap ketchup. Let's just get that right out of the way. Then we're taken to an alien world. I believe they later said it was either Venus or Pluto. I'm gonna have to double. Actually, I believe I've got the IMDb page up right now. It should say Venus. It was Venus. All right, so we are then shown Venus, which is made out of burning rocks, a garbage bag, and a model fucking rocket as it launches back after collecting specimens of some kind. It crashes in New York. A couple of kids find it. They pour this ooze into a hole, and then it like covers a weasel. And it just goes right downhill from there. At one point, the weasel is killing people, and then this cop. Or my fault. He actually, according to the IMDb, fucking DB, because they never tell you what his official rank is. He is actually an inspector, and according to the mad scientist, his name is Inspector Cameron. I'm not sure if he just doesn't know how to say Cameron, but I'm just going to stick with Cameron because that's the only name he's ever given in the entire film. Cameron and his buddy Anderson, his partner, are sent out to try to find out who or what has killed 17 people in the middle of fucking nowhere. And then this weirdo shows up with what literally looks like a cap gun. He talks him into his lab, which is just clearly a basement, and then he talks about his evil plan. Guys, the writing in this is stupid as shit, alright? And the villain's motives, they change at least 3 times over the course of the film. There is one time he talks about possibly curing world hunger. One time he talks about how he's going to amass a fucking army of evil weasels and other random creatures using this ooze that came from Venus in order to rule the world. And then at one point he just randomly says he is going to be immortal. So he basically is cinema's answer to fucking Gargamel from the Smurfs. His motives are not entirely clear, and he can't make up his mind as to what he really wants to do. And the writing just goes nutso from there, guys. There is no point in this movie where the writing makes a lick of sense. So I can't even say, it's great. No. The writing in this thing is complete shit, but it makes it kind of lovable. The acting here, well, I should mention again, the movie only had a $400 budget, and the way that they got the cast was, it was basically just friends and family members of the writer, director, producer, and the rest of the crew, which means Nathan fucking Schiff and a couple of his buddies went and they got all of their friends and family together and they shot this movie. And it kind of works. Okay, first of all, the acting is ridiculously wooden. Nobody here knows how to act. Fuck, everybody here could take fucking lessons from the cast of Manos, The Hands of Fate, and they'd still probably suck. But hey, it still kind of works. It still sort of helps make everything here just laughably bad. The fact that nobody can act, and nobody even puts in a fucking effort, which makes it even funnier. Or correction, at least it comes off as nobody's putting in a lick of effort, but god damn it, it still sort of helps out. This film does shine, though, in two areas. One of them is actually a technical thing, because Cameron's favorite thing, besides smoking at almost all times, because he was the one I mentioned earlier, was smoking while shaving. He's almost never seen without a fucking cigar in his mouth. He also loves to wear these giant mirrored aviator shades, and when you have those, the biggest fear you have is possibly him like turning his head and having like the cameraman or the director show up in the lenses, but you don't see them. Every single shot with him, you never once see the cameraman, you never once see the fucking director, you only see everyone who's supposed to be in the shot. So I do have to praise them for that, because there are movies with multi-million-dollar budgets which can't even do, that. So bravo. So bravo to Nathan, Schiff, at least you got that much down. The other thing is gore effects, which are kind of sort of a mixed bag, because apparently all of the effects in this movie were done... Oh, and I'm just talking just, like effects in general, not just the gore effects, but everything was done just using household items. So basically for guts, it's probably just like chicken or turkey, innards and shit like that, which certainly works. Blood essentially seems to either be sometimes paint, ketchup, strawberry jam. It's really kind of fucked up. And blood essentially changes, color and thickness from, death to death. Apparently, every single human being on the planet has blood, which is a slightly different shade of red. Noticeably different shade of red, mind you, but still different nonetheless. Which again, it kind of helps with the movie a little bit. There is a technical problem when it comes to some of these effects, because where you cannot see the crew in the fucking lenses of Cameron's shades, you can see people working the puppets. At one point, you see this giant, weasel weasel puppet, which is just a head. And there are like two shots which are almost back to back where you can see the back end of it where the puppet's actually being worked on. It looks totally fake, which again makes sense because the movie was shot on the ultra cheap. And if it were almost any other movie, I would probably see that as a negative. But no, it's just one more thing I can look at and just fucking laugh at and love. And the other one is right towards the end. A shark shows up for no fucking reason at all. I am serious. A shark just randomly pops up in the shallowest water I've ever seen a fucking shark pop up from. And it's basically just a giant, shark, dummy. And you can see, and you can see the hands of whoever the hell is, moving it around on top as they're kind of sort of, guiding it a little bit. And again, it just sort of helps the overall, badness of this movie. Now, I totally understand that when he made it, Schiff was only 16, and it was shot on a $400 budget. Again, I seriously am not going to look at this and go, this film sucks. Well, I am, but I'm going to say this film is shit, but god damn it, it is fucking lovably shitty. That, guys, is the fucking thing. Sound. The sound mix here also, again, because of the low budget, is sort of a mixed bag. Because at times, dialogue seems to have been dubbed in. And it sounds way, out of place, because Then they cut all fucking they cut out all like background noise, like fucking, you know, like wind or anything else, which seems really weird, especially when the previous shot you could hear fucking wind, you could, you know, hear all this other stuff. And when they're using the actual sound which was there when they were filming, you can clearly hear the camera's motor, which happened a lot when you were filming with Super 8 cameras. So again, it just sort of helps aid, you know, in this. So can I recommend this movie? Hell yes, I can totally recommend it if, big if here, you are a fan of stuff like Plan 9 or Manos, The Hands of Fate, or almost anything else which has ever been covered on Mystery Science Theater. If you are one of those sorts of people who just loves to watch really bad, really stupid, really cheesy monster movies that make almost no fucking sense at all, then guys, I should really have held on to this. Weasels Rip My Flesh is almost the perfect movie for you. This thing is so bad, it's fucking hilarious, and I loved every second of it. My God, and I was also sort of curious, and I looked it up, and Nathan Schiff has made at least 3 other movies I can totally cover for this series. And if the other ones are as cheesy and as fantastically bad in just an awesome way as this thing is, I'm totally going to fucking watch them, and I'm probably going to love them as much as I loved this. Oh my God. So, Weasels Rip My Flesh came off the Amazon.com wish list. The person who sent it in is a guy who has sent in a lot of stuff, and he does not want me to give him a full shout out. He does not want me to promote his channel or anything else. He told me that once, and he hasn't really corrected me on that. And his name is Robert. Robert, dude, thank you. Because when I put this thing on the, you know, wish list, I just kind of sort of expected it to be another shitty fucking movie I was just going to look at and tear up and just go, oh my God, this sucks so bad. And mind you, it does totally suck, but God damn it, I loved it. This guy's totally fucking reminds me of when I first tried to watch Manos, The Hands of Fate, except I was able to get fucking through all of it without having to shut it off, probably because it's only 63 minutes, guys. Yeah, that too. The movie is also really short, so even if you're not sure if cheesy, shitty monster movies are your thing, the worst that happens is you're out fucking 63 minutes. Whoopee. So yeah, guys, please, by all means, try to find a copy of this. I'm not totally sure if Weasels Rip My Flesh is on Netflix or not. It really almost should be. And if it isn't, somebody really ought to write to Netflix and beg them to put this on there. Otherwise, you can probably find the DVD ridiculously cheap. You can probably go and like download it somewhere, like BitTorrent it, because you can probably find it that way even easier. Anyway, guys, you really do have to give this movie a watch, and now I'm kind of curious about all of these bonus features, interviews, and other such shit. Oh, and it even has a bunch of shifts like short films. I may have to make an entire episode out of just the short films which are on here. I'm kind of curious about those now. But of course, that will happen on a different day. So guys, with that, we come to the close of another reaction and review. Until next time, ladies and gentlemen, take care, and I will see you all in the near future. Peace.